White guy. If you missed part 1, you can find the link at the end of this video or in the video description. Before I get back to the story, I wanted to point out that this is not the first time this type of conversation has happened. It's unfortunately very common. I believe I'm approached with these conversations because I'm a Western revert, convert, and there's a certain perspective that I can bring to these conversations that many cannot because of prevailing cultural attitudes. For those who have these cultural attitudes, the fear of discussing these taboos generally helps the taboo to continue to flourish. It's something to think about. To be clear, the conversation was actually very polite. It never got vulgar. It did lack some wisdom at times, particularly when it came to choice of words. But he is young, so it's kind of expected. I did have to remind him a few times that some descriptive details were not necessary, but for the most part, it was an honest and sincere conversation. The brother's young and recently married, and they want to enjoy life, and they believe a great way to make that happen would be to find a private location on a beach and sunbathe nude. But he has concerns because his understanding of Islam is limited. The idea probably comes from the false images we are sold in movies and television. But we got to remember, folks, these are not real. I mean, sex, as fun as it can be, in reality is often very awkward, can be messy, and it can be a great source of conflict in somebody's life. It's not always about pleasure. A great example of these scenes is when a man slams a woman up against the wall. They try to present it as something erotic and exciting. But the reality is that it's a perfect opportunity for a woman to get a concussion as her head bounces off the wall. Her back is going to be covered in bruises the next day, and if you're dumb about it, one, if not both of you, are going to have extensive dental work as your faces erotically slammed together. Remember, sudden stops after motion, folks. I began by telling the brother that things are rarely ever private. Besides the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is aware of all things, someone at any time could walk up and see them. Basically, this conversation was, if you're nude on the beach, in private, is it sinful? Now, we can see the influence in certain attitudes because he would say things like, my wife wants to feel the sand on her aura. They have this idea that being on the beach is romantic and fun, and there's nude beaches in Europe. And for those who don't know, the aura is poorly translated as private parts. So he was using this translation. But it's important to know that the aura has a far deeper implication, and it's one of those matters related to the modern day modesty discussion that Muslims are challenged with, hijab, burqa, these kind of things. But that's another discussion for another time. I had established with him at this point that Islam forbids public nudity. It is a major sin, and there's a whole bunch of issues and side effects that come from this type of behavior. But I did continue to try to appeal to his reasoning and attempted to be practical about the matter. And I told him how damaging the sun and the sand can be to the skin. But his response was, maybe because your skin is white and soft. White guy. I then asked him how he would feel if someone walked up and saw him and his wife in a compromising position like this. We were starting to get closer to the truth. He said that he found it arousing and would be more aroused with his wife if he thought another man or woman was aroused by them. You know how we make certain assumptions about people? We hear the word Muslim, for example, and we think certain stereotypes. You know, obviously for some, it's this ridiculous terrorist stereotype. But for me, when I hear the word Muslim, I picture someone who knows at least the basics of Islam and can recognize to some degree the various attitudes that lead to good and to bad, the benefits and the harm, if you will. I know Muslims have the same potential to suffer from the same worldly diseases as any non-Muslim because we're all human. I was just caught off guard by the sudden openness of the conversation. I don't embarrass easily, folks. I was just surprised. And this is what happens when we have a sincere dialogue. The truth comes out. He was not concerned about if going to the beach was permissible or not, and he really wasn't concerned about the nudity issue. He was concerned about how sinful his attitude to voyeurism was. Pornography. Again, I tried to appeal to his reason. Do you really want men lusting over your wife? Is that something you really want to get your wife into? He proceeded to mention how beautiful his wife was. This is where I reminded him that we don't need to go into details. I'll take your word for it. You have been blessed with a beautiful wife, mashallah. She's yours and you are hers. Do not let anyone come between you, and most certainly never open up that door yourself. So he said he loves his wife's blessings. And again, I asked, why would you want to put your wife in such a position? I did not expect this, but I was not surprised either. My wife likes the idea. She's proud of her body and she likes to show it off. And when we see men and women desiring her, I desire her more. In an attempt to get me to understand his position more, he says, can I send you a picture? I said, if it's your wife, no. He says, just her top. Okay, stop right there. I don't want to see a picture of your wife. I'm a man and I love and I desire the beauty of women. But please don't open the door to your sinful behavior so that it becomes my sinful behavior. Also, you really need to respect your wife. I understand for many the need to be accepted and especially to be desired. It's a powerful thing, but it's not something I've ever been interested in. Perhaps because of the challenges I faced, I learned at a quite young age that I didn't need validation from others to be happy, but that's another story. Now, I just want to remind you at this point that yes, some of this stuff sounds strange. However, it was a sincere and honest conversation. He was trying to get to the root of an issue that they have. The brother proceeded, if I show you, then maybe you'll understand why we feel the way we do. And this is when I pulled out the experience card, if you will. I'm not going to get into my sordid past, the things I've done, but I will tell you this. As fun as you think it is, what you and your wife are doing, you're only going to regret it. You'll regret the path you're taking because everybody does. Those who claim otherwise are in denial. There's always a price. Even one uncomfortable feeling is a doorway to disaster. Anyway, this is where I got real with him. No more holding back. I said, don't be foolish. You're young and you have no idea the harm that will come from the path you're trying to choose. I am 3 years old and I have been with my wife years and I praise Allah every single day for keeping her in my life. I could have lost her 1,000 times over because of the liberal type ideas that I had embraced prior to accepting Islam. Islam and its conservative beliefs is the reason why my wife is still my wife. It has been a long road and I have a very long way to go. But if it was not for Allah's guidance and the example of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, my wife would have been long gone. That, akhi and ukhti, is where your focus needs to turn. Quran and Sunnah, not liberalism and worldly pleasures. Many Muslims will be shocked at how erotic and enjoyable their love life can be while still remaining within what is permissible. Enjoy sex, just enjoy within the bounds set by Allah and His Messenger. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Remember to comment, like, share, subscribe, and support us on Patreon if you want to see more videos. Also check out the video description for more information on the video and how you can contact me on various social media. For now, stay safe, salam, peace, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.